putting an end to identity politics. This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
For your next vacation, experience Mexico the way our people experience your country.
Are we there yet, Dad?
Almost, kids. Keep paddling.
Sneak across the border to Mexico, and we'll cater to your every need.
Hola, amigos. I don't understand. Anyway, we're here for the free medical care. Oh, and the doctors will need to speak English because we're too lazy to learn Spanish.
You need a doctor?
Yeah, I'm pregnant again with twins.
And if they're born here, they're automatically Mexican citizens.
Then we can all become citizens.
Yay! They speak English in Mexican schools, right, Dad?
Well, they better.
This summer, make Mexico your very own.
Kids, once I get my forged Mexican driver's license, we can buy a crappy Mexican car.
Can we slap an American flag bumper sticker on it?
You're darn tootin'. We don't want to lose our identity.
Mexico, we cannot make you leave.
Welcome back, everybody. Kevin Jackson here, talking about DACA. We got a lot to talk about. Irma is obviously headed towards the coast and could be devastating to Florida if it stays on that path. It's funny, one of my friends who has a place in Florida goes, Kevin, I hope it skips Florida and goes up on the East Coast. And I was like, look at you. Wow. Wishing bad luck on, North Carolina and South Carolina and all up the East Coast. Well, I don't mean it that way. Oh, yeah, you do. I mean, look, let's just be honest. You don't want it hitting your place. See, that's one of those things where you go, come on, be true. Don't try to pretend. Anyway, I hope everybody survives this. I'm just glad the thing didn't hit Texas because they couldn't, they're not prepared to deal with it right now. We're just getting over Harvey. But I want to continue our conversation with DACA. Trump wants to follow the Constitution and the left revolt. That just amazes me. You follow the rule of law. Oh, what are you doing? You're undoing the illegal act of Barack Obama. How could you possibly? Then he says, hey, put it back into Congress. And Congress revolts, talking about they said it was the deplorable act of a political coward. The idea of undoing illegal legislation, giving it back to giving the power back to Congress is declared in a deplorable act of a political coward. The deplorable act of the political coward was Barack Obama, who issued an executive order that was an illegal act. Oh, my goodness. Multiple times, Obama admitted he didn't have the authority to implement DACA, but he did it anyway. And the left knows this. Yet, silence. And we played a clip the other day. Dianne Feinstein gets asked, was it illegal? Let's play that again because it's worth playing just to hear the rationale.
Was DACA legal?
DACA was executive order. Legal is the law of passage of something. There are 10 attorneys general that are prepared to sue. I don't want to get into that. The point is DACA is here, and we've got 800,000 young people.
Well, your answer indicates though that it's on shaky legal ground.
It is. That's why we need to pass a law.
Did you notice the pivot? She gets asked point blank, is it illegal? And she pivots. Yeah. Because she doesn't want to tell you the truth. Yes, it was illegal. For President Trump to undo DACA is exactly what he should do. And he's putting it back into Congress. She says, Congress needs to adjudicate this or whatever she has. Okay, that's what Trump said. The truth, look, let's just be completely honest. Trump is saying, let's undo it. We put it back into Congress. That's the way the law is written. That's how we do things here. The executive branch does not create law. Congress does. End of story. And if the left were genuine, they would say, God, it's good to finally have a president in office who actually believes in the rule of law, understands the role of our government system, the system of checks and balances, and honors that by putting this back into our hands. Would you ever said no? I should just say said no Democrat ever, because they know that in order to do that, you would have to praise the man for doing the right thing. It's unbelievable, folks. Then DACA says, the left rather says, if DACA kids leave America, get this, we'll lose $400 billion in our GDP. Where do they get these figures? You know, if you're a dreamer, you probably aren't really keeping your money above board. So they're coming up with some estimate that they pulled from between their butt cheeks, and they want you to believe the figures. And by the way, I don't care. The idea is if the DACA kids leave, the dreamers leave, if they're forced to leave, then we're going to have this big gap in our economy. No, this big hole. No, we're not. Other kids who've been looking for jobs are going to go get those jobs. Maybe black kids will go get those jobs. Have they even looked at the unemployment of black kids? How can you come out of your freaking mouth and talk to me about the number of dreamers that have jobs when you're looking at unemployment in the black community for teenagers of 50+%? Are they telling us that these kids don't want these jobs? I don't have an answer for that. Are these America's bean pickers and maids and pool boys and lawn care, or are these kids who are doing summer jobs to go to college? Tell me what jobs these DACA kids have. See, we got to put these folks on blast. That's what they call it. Put them on blast. Make them have to defend their actions against one of their special interest groups. Y'all have heard me talk about this. Obama issued an idle threat to Donald Trump. He'll have to deal with me. If he undoes DACA, he'll have to deal with me. Woo! That's you got to know Donald Trump has not gotten any sleep since hearing that. He's got to deal with what's Barack Obama doing? Is he going to pull a McGregor and call out Mayweather? We all know how that ended. What does Barack Obama act? What does he think he's going to do? Is he still president? Oh, that's right. He's running this subversive counter government group to Donald Trump. How's that working out for him? You don't even hear this fool's name. He comes up occasionally. Oh, I'm going to come and I'm going to do this. I'm gonna do. Fine. Come show us. Back up the threat. Call Trump out in the octagon. Trump is, I don't know, he's probably 15 years older than Obama, but I'd still put my money on Trump to whoop his bony butt. Then you have La Raza and groups like them who act as the illegals mafia. They're just an extortion racket. They want the American taxpayer to fund the bill so that La Raza can, do its thing to take over, I don't know what they're trying to do, but they believe America is theirs. We're the occupiers. You've heard, I think his name is Luis Gonzalez or Rodriguez or whatever, very outspoken, pro-Mexico, anti-American congressman. You've heard him talk about this. We're the occupiers. It's not going to work. That type of boisterous Mexican is absolutely the minority in this country. They think, we hear them all the time because the media gives them such a big voice. I promise you, they're like, the church house mouse. You rarely hear them or see them. I learned this about DACA through Tom Fitton of Judicial Watch. It says illegals could come here, commit a crime that gets them a 1-year jail sentence, and if they serve less than 3 months, they would still be eligible for DACA. So you could commit crimes and still be eligible for DACA. The Dreamers. By the way, they do. 2,900 plus Dreamers have committed heinous crimes. Rape, armed robbery, gang-related activities, etc. They make these kids sound so, they're precious. They're dreamers. It's amazing to me. John Legend says, don't call them illegals. They are dreamers and lovers. Where do these people come up with this stuff? I tell you what, John Legend, fund them. Then let them live with you in your gated community in your mansion. All these leftists share. They talk about these dreamers knowing they will have zero interaction with them. It's like Chris Rock when he's talking about his kids. He says, my kids, they live a white life. They don't deal with the issues that I dealt with as a kid growing up. I tell you what, Chris, why not? Because you took them out of that situation. Here's an idea. One of my friends came up with this, and he says, hey, let the dreamers build that wall. I thought, now there's an idea. I bet there's a handful of folks that agree with that.
He won't stop until he's the top-rated radio talk show host in America.
What kind of weird competitive freak are you?
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.